I'm Max. I'll be your garden coach today. We're going to go over pruning roses. And the good thing about roses, the one word that really describes roses, resilient. They are tough. They're survivors. They'll cope. So as far as pruning is concerned, roses are kind of a participatory plant. They need your help. If you don't do it quite right, that's better than not doing it as far as pruning. So we're not shooting, we don't have to shoot for perfection. We're just trying to help them out and guide them. First of all, we'll kind of go through the different types. Like on climbers, the key thing about them is they're different from the other roses. The other roses we would prune late winter, very early spring, like now. The climbers, you wait until they finish their first flush of blooms, and then you prune them. And you could prune them back, the vigorous canes back to 5 feet. Old and tired canes you could eliminate. The hybrid tea and Grandiflora, hybrid tea being kind of the rose, and Grandiflora kind of being similar to a hybrid tea, just tends to be a bigger bush. Those you would prune back this time of year to 18 to 24 inches. And the other thing that you're going to be doing at the same time is you're shooting for an open shape. So you're taking things out of the center and you're pruning the guys that you leave. You're going to prune to an outward facing bud because you want an open center. And the way you do that is, for instance, on this guy, here's an outward facing bud. So basically you're telling the shrub where you want it to go. You want it to go out, so you come a little above that, maybe about 1/4 of an inch at a 45-degree angle to where the water doesn't stand on it. And this guy is going to go out this way. And another thing, anything old you would trim off. And these little guys here in the interior, you can see that guy. And here's another one kind of on the outside. Those are called blind shoots. They're non-productive. They just get in the way. They're never going to bloom. So those guys, turn it around where you can get a good shot at it and eliminate those. He's not a big contributor, so he's going away. And of course, the other category of prune it off, here we go. We have a broken branch. And of course, this guy's pointing toward the center, so we'll just take him off too. And of course, roses don't always cooperate and grow exactly like the illustrations you see in the book. So that's my point about perfection. We'll just do what we can. And like I say, it's a participatory thing. And see, he's growing up in the middle. So what are the consequences if here's a little dead piece I'm cutting off, going to the outside on that guy. Here's another guy that's never going to be productive. He's in the way of air circulation. So he goes off to the trash can. Of course, here's a situation. See, these have died back. Outward facing buds, just a little bit above them. And we'll leave that guy for now. Okay, there's a hybrid tea. Of course, if ever a guy needed to go, this guy, he's filling up the center. So that's an easy call. He gets to go. Here's a guy, he's going nowhere. So he's out. Here's another guy that's just growing into the center. So he's gone. And let's see. Just a little dead guy up there, and we don't need that guy. And of course, like a lot of things, the way to prune things is you look and you see the things that you know have to go, things that are filling up the center or that are dead, or you know, the blind shoots and things like that. You get that stuff out of the way, and then it becomes a little more clear about. Then you get down to the pruning that is a little more of a decision. Boy, here's a demonstration. This guy in here, he's an easy call. He's dead. They don't come back. Of course, here's a little dead guy here. And this guy here is a lot of dead here. We'll get this guy out. Teeth in the middle. And let's see. I'm kind of thinking, and this is a good way to demonstrate. This would be a, you know, the remnant of a bloom. We'll do deadheading, and this provides an easy illustration, like on a hybrid tea or a Grandiflora. When you're deadheading, which is just cutting off the spent blooms, you would cut back. And a lot of people ask, how far do I cut it back? We have the perfect illustration. This is a 5-leaflet leaf, the first one. Here's the second 5-leaflet leaf. You prune back to the second, above the second 5-leaflet leaf, and you can already see it's got a little bud in there. So you prune off, that will take over. That's where your next bud and bloom will come from. There we go. There we go. And see, he's going to the outside. And this guy's down in the dirt. So he's going away. This guy's going straight into the center. So he's got to go. With that one cut, we made a bunch of progress into making it an open center. Prune that guy off. Here's another. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. This guy, he's just gumming up the works. He's not going to be a productive citizen. He's in the way. Okay. Here's a guy going into the middle. We could live without him and that guy. Okay. And let's see. This guy, hey, we kind of got a nice shape and size there. Any dead leaves, that'll work. Of course, this guy. Okay. There's an easy decision. I kind of like the dexterity of not having them. And let's see. Here's a guy going to the outside. That's what we're wanting. The guy below him is all in the center. Old dead guy down here. He's going. Another dead piece. He's going. Well, obviously, this guy, he's in the wrong place at the wrong time, growing right straight up out of the center. If it's a traffic jam, somebody's got to give way. I think I'll cut him back to go this way. Here's another one. And of course this guy, we're gonna leave him. We're going mostly away. Some are better than others. Open center, and that puts the energy into these guys that are kind of semi-going in, at least in the direction we want. And let's see. And of course, obviously, this guy here growing right through the middle, he can go. And down here we have some more. That's the quintessential blind shoot. He's never going to do anything. He's just holding up air circulation. So he and his dead friends get to go. And let's see. We'll go to an outside facing bud. And another one. The ones that are going out, they have the right of way. And the guys that are going inside or crossing one that's going out, they're the ones that need to go. He's got a space right there. These guys going right there. Okay. This guy is going off that way. Well, I'll tell you what. Get this guy going. He might get a reprieve. He'll go that way. And here's this guy. And this one, he's going out. So we're encouraging him to spread out. This guy, he's going that way. Okay. This guy, I think we'll cut him back to there. So he's ready to go. He looks skinny and scrawny now, but with all this, when it comes out, I think I'll take this one. He's going to be gorgeous. Keep your fingers out of the way. And I speak from experience that pruners show no respect for fingers whatsoever. And of course, after we already talked about deadheading, and that happens through the season. The roses, typically they bloom in like a flush. You'll have a lot of buds at one time, and they, as they fade, you can clip them out of the way, called deadheading. Helps the appearance of the rose bush and encourages rebloom. Roses are, you could call them heavy feeders. I think more accurately you would call them, during the growing season, constant feeders. You don't want to hit them with a whole bunch, but you want to have them supplied with nutrients all the time. And when they do a flush of blooms, that consumes a whole lot of energy. So they're absolutely, if you haven't fed them something before the bloom or whatever, after you bloom and you deadhead everything, they're going to kind of start over. You want to make sure you feed them then. And roses like spring and they like fall. July and August, they don't like at all. So they may bloom a little bit, but basically, and this last summer was a real good example of, they're going to go into heat dormancy. In the winter, they go into a cold-induced dormancy. When it's really cold, they just take a nap. The same thing happens to not quite as much of a degree. They don't lose all their leaves, although they'll have fewer leaves. But in July, August, it is so hot. This past summer, when the low was 85 or 86, roses would prefer that be the high and not the low. So they'll take kind of a break. They may still bloom some. It won't be as much. The blooms will be smaller and they'll be pale compared to what they do in the spring and fall. So keep that in mind, that they're kind of taking a break, and they will pick up in, maybe start to pick up in September, but then October, November, and most of December, they'll really be putting on a show. So that's when you can also at the like September or end of August, you could do a cleanup pruning, since they're going to be kind of tired and some things will have expired. So you could do a shaping prune back of like a quarter to a third, and then in September, end of September, October, they'll be coming on with a flush of new growth and blooms. You know, to fertilize, you can do rose food. Here's synthetic, organic. You could also use fish emulsion, which is a 5-1-1 for a foliar spray and a drench. And I've had good luck with Grower Special. It's a slow release 1266 with a really good micronutrient package. And especially if you were to be growing any roses, dwarf roses, Floribunda or whatever, in a big container, Grower Special is the one that I would use, because it's specifically formulated to be able to be used in a container and will not burn, absolutely. And I've used it for 15 years, very good results. And we have it in 4-pound and in a 15-pound. And of course, the other note is, you may already know this, but of course, roses take a little more than average water. They don't want to be soggy, but so it's a good idea if you're planting them in the ground to amend the soil with like planter's mix, and then mulch the top. That deters weeds and insulates the soil from heat and cold. So that's a plus, and I think if you do those things, you're going to enjoy the roses. Thanks.